What's going on, mercenaries? Welcome back to another episode with Mercenary Assassins Gaming. Now, as you see, we have kind of slowed down making some videos for a while because there's been other things going on than video games, of course, So it's still good to be here. We still make content, it's no rush. There's no time limit on things, especially when it comes to social media. You can pick this up and start whenever. And it's just a casual game channel for anybody who's more into an older style of gaming. We consider ourselves a voice for the rare, for the chosen, for those who knew what true FPSs were at one point in time. Nonetheless, as a lot of you have followed, we have made a lot of Call of Duty content that was kind of the breaking point as to what made me want to start speaking upon matters in relation to video games. And man, it's too little too late, man. Had I probably started this YouTube stuff maybe years ago when I was an actual factor within gaming world, it would have had a different story. My voice would have had much more weight. So I have no one to blame but ourselves for that, because a lot of the things that we say or have said, a lot of these mainstream content creators are now actually catching on if you even look at our videos and cross-reference them, which is pretty funny. Wouldn't be surprised if they've been stealing our shit. Nonetheless, the real gamers are here, tuned in, and let's go ahead and get into it, man. I'll go ahead in another later video talk about why we just slow down with Call of Duty. I mean, that's kind of self-explanatory. That game is just so fucking horrible, man. Everything from the mechanics, the skins, the feel, the graphics, the lighting. I mean, fuck that game, man. It's just horrible. It's a piece of shit. We all know about the skill-based damage patents. And that's what really made me just leave that shit alone. Why the fuck am I going to play a game where the one thing that is honored in an FPS, which is your accuracy, isn't? I mean, we've seen countless clips of people spraying at the floor and fucking basically killing people who've been ripping headshots in gunfights because the skill-based damage algorithm and the algorithm-based matchmaking process basically just wants to fuck them over. The winner of the match is already decided before the game started, and I can't play a game like that. Why would you? Needless be to say, that's just a little forward it has to this video here. Battlefield 6, man, this has been long awaited, dude. We've been waiting for a real return to form Battlefield, and I'm gonna go ahead and give my review upon the beta. Enough of the catch-up talk, enough of the bashing Call of Duty, screw Call of Duty, fuck that. We're here for Battlefield, man. So let's go ahead and get into it. So with some notes as I see here, my first impressions as I was starting to boot up the game, I am starting to see that they are really dick-riding Call of Duty. I'm sorry, I'm going to be the one to be all the way honest, man. I've always been a Battlefield fan. This was always the more superior shooter. Shooting the guns felt like a joy. It felt much more realistic than Call of Duty, even back then. The feel for the game, how you have to play as a team for the game, the objective-based aspects of the game versus Call of Duty's domination, capture the flag. Everything about Battlefield 6 to me, and to honestly most real shooters, this was always the superior shooter. This is where the grown-ups came to play games, whereas the kids have always started playing fucking Call of Duty. Call of Duty was cool back then, but once you started drifting off towards like the end of Black Ops 2 and you went into BO3, that was kind of it. It went too cheesy. It went way too wrong direction with the robots and the jumping off of the crates and the wall running bullshit. Fuck that. I honestly tapped out of Call of Duty even back then, which is why I haven't really delved into the series up until lately with Modern Warfare 3, the remake, of course. It's not the real Modern Warfare 3. But this causes me great frustration. I mean, even looking at the game menu here, I mean, what is this, dude? It's like You know what I'm saying? Even like the style, if you look at if you do like a side to side comparison of how the layouts, the HUD, and things of that matter, how Call of Duty has their setups, it looks basically almost the fucking same, just with like less, I don't know how else to say it, weird characters. Yeah, it's so what I'm starting to see here already from this beta, if this isn't like going into the finished product, that they are really trying to do a a pull from the Call of Duty base, tried and sure as shit true, because it's like they, from so far what I'm seeing, they want to have a sense of familiarity for the Call of Duty fans, who are obviously like the most of us sick of that game. That seems to be their biggest point of attraction, just judging from this so far. And now, with more in-depth aspects of the game, reviewing it, I noticed that even the shooting feels very, very identical to COD. Now, in older battlefields, right, when you would fire your weapons, especially within like a fully automatic rate of fire, the guns, I don't know what it was about the weapons in Battlefield 6, but all of them seem to have a very realistic level of recoil mitigation. The gun didn't have, like, I guess, like much patterns. It had, like, I guess you could say, like a set rhythm towards the recoil, if you will, but not like a certain spray pattern like games like Counter-Strike or Call of Duty have specifically for each gun. So all of the weapons in Battlefield are very easy to mitigate their recoil and reduce the feel. I've noticed that in here, this demo, the so I could be able to maintain straight, steady shots. Whereas in the older Battlefield, I was able to kind of have my bullets more so along a streamlined pattern. So that right there is very frustrating to me, because I can already tell just from the shooting mechanics of the game, which is really the king of any FPS, what they're trying to do here. Because Battlefield has never had this type of style. The visual felt recoil as well as the patterns are very, very tough. Like, I have to spend a lot of time holding down on the joystick and my mouse when I switched over to that later, because I just didn't like the way that the controller felt. This type of feel when it came to the weapon combat. Like, the shooting so far feels atrocious, and I absolutely hate that. If they can go back to more of a classic Battlefield style recoil mitigation, or even if they do decide to incorporate recoil patterns like Call of Duty, that they can greatly reduce it to that of what most Battlefield shooters felt like. Because you honestly would have to have played Battlefield back then to know what I'm talking about. Like, the recoil for the guns were just amazing. The muzzle climb wasn't really, I guess, like, so heavy as it is now. Even when maintaining higher rates of fire, you didn't really feel like you had to like jerk down on your joystick just to be able to maintain accuracy within, like, the square box pattern, which is really like chest shots and up. And even the weapons and their damage, actually, I'm actually very appalled by that as well too. The battlefield damage, like, I don't know, man. It just, like bullets were bullets. Like, they killed, and they heavier caliber bullets, you tended to send less shots. However, the headshot was always king, whether it was the pistol, the shotgun, the rifle, the LMG, the sniper. naturally. Now this doesn't feel so much. It kind of has now that kitty kind of, 15 rounds towards down feel that Call of Duty has. You know what I mean? Like, and you literally see it here. Like, it's taking me like, 8, 9 shots, in some cases up to like 12, 13, and all of the bullets are hitting. I'm not understanding this. It's like I'm shooting rubber at the opponents, and I really always hated that shit in Call of Duty when I started to replay that again. Which is why I always love Battlefield. Like when you get into those engagements where you have several opponents, you had a fair chance of taking them down as long as you're able to maintain stable accuracy. So I hope that they tweak the damage modification for a lot of these ARs. I hope that they can fix the recoil mitigation as well, because I also tried to use the SMG, I think, later in the video, and it was just horrible. I mean, the purpose of that is for close quarters combat, and I mean, I can't maintain a shot because the muzzle climb on that is all over the place. Like, it's ridiculous. It's funny how I say that in this breath, because on one hand, Call of Duty really favors the childish run and gun play, sliding, jumping all over the place, and they really basically shit on every other weapon, right? Like, the shotguns, the LMGs, the ARs are damn near useless but one, the Cypher, right? And in this here, it's almost like the exact opposite. It feels like close quarter weapons don't really have much of a chance at all because of like these ridiculous spray patterns that they decided to introduce, and the muzzle climb is just way too high on some of these SMGs. So I'm not understanding that there. I mean, I like the older feel of Battlefield when the guns just had a certain feeling to them. You know, you, you would shoot the gun would shoot straight where the iron sight or the optic would point towards. And depending on the rate of fire, you would adjust your recoil mitigation as so. It didn't have these like ridiculous, stupid ass recoil patterns that jumped all over the place. And so, on top of trying to combine that with your movement, you're trying to also aim with your joystick in the counter opposite direction to be able to make it actually shoot straight. Like, what the fuck? Is your guy a trained operator or not, dude? You know what I'm saying? So, that shit just blows minds. But other than that, which is actually a very big deal when it comes to an FPS game, this looks great. It looks in game. It looks visually appealing. It looks true to form outside of the combat parameters, I'll say. So that's great. I do like the way that they revamp some of the classes. I can't wait to see what other weapons they reintroduce. You know, not that you need a whole lot. You could get a game like Counter Strike, and that blows the charts out of Battlefield and Counter Call of Duty combined, and they don't even have over 20 weapons. You know what I'm saying? So, as long as the weapons that they introduce feel good, I'll be okay with that. To add some variety. Got assassinated there. Funny because I'm the CQC guy. I love to get close, so I like to see that. That's pretty cool as well too. They have nice realistic style stealth eliminations. No weird kung fu or funny ass, I guess, Joe Rogan's special abilities that you see in Call of Duty when you get executed. That's a relief to hear and see. The map layout looks fun. I love the destruction in this. It's this is superb. Like grenades actually are back. Explosives actually play a role in combat again. The shooter. Because I've noticed not even just in Call of Duty, but a lot of shooting games are, they're hitting on explosives. I don't know why. It's a part of combat. It helps with suppression, taking out heavy artillery, clearing out multiple opponents at a time. And then plus it's fun. It gives viable options. What I mean? Viable options in any game is fun. Who wants to just play the same style, play one game the one same way day in day out? That's boring. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry, that's just not fun. That's not entertainment. That's what causes me personally to get burned out. I don't know about you guys. Some of you guys are brain rot and can, just do some stuff like Call of Duty where you're playing with an SMG, just running and sliding around each other. I'm sorry. I like to play, grown man style of games, personally. The graphics do feel fresh, so that's definitely a plus. I do like the squad combat. I can't wait to see some of the other features that they release, such as the Battle Royale. Now that's going to be fun. I know me and the boys are going to absolutely love that because I think that if they get that right, Battlefield 6 will be able to completely and finally be able to, I guess, on the charts, dethrone Call of Duty. In my opinion, they always were the better shooter. I've always loved Battlefield way more. Battlefield, Medal of Honor, those were awesome games, man. But it's just the kids gravitated towards Call of Duty. What sells is reigns supreme. So it's a sad reality that true gamers you know have to deal with what the masses enjoy. Other than those things so far between discussion of the weapon combat, this game actually doesn't feel so bad. I see that they've kind of increased the player movement. I know the battlefields were a little slower, and that's what I actually liked. I did like that sense of realism. I don't like shooting games where you're jumping and sliding all over the place, but that's just me. Some people like more of a faster, um, new age butt scooter style of play. Where you're continuously sliding and jumping around and doing all of this excess movement, and shooting tends to be less of the focal point in an FPS. I'm not understanding where this style of play came from, how this became popular in gaming, but it is what it is. That's what people like. They've also introduced a battle pass. Going back to the point that I made earlier about how this is basically kind of like a Call of Duty 2.0, if you will. Trying to seize the opportunity for the pissed off consumers of Call of Duty as like their, I guess, main cash grab. And that right there is another prime example of what I'm talking about. Um, Never really recalled so much of a battle pass. I do remember, I think back in the game, the store, you could purchase some skins, It wasn't really too many. They were cheap. They had bundle packs as well too back then. I don't know if anybody who's really an old school gamer remembered the bundle packs. Maybe they'll have some more things polished by the time it's released. Hopefully. Um, I know in nowadays time, usually what you see with the beta is kind of what's expected and what you're gonna get. You know, people in these gaming companies are extremely lazy, especially even more so these bigger studios. You know, so it's not really um, looking too promising if that's the case. But those were fucking awesome. They usually came with maybe like about 4 to 5 new maps, expansion packs as they were called too. We call them bundle packs or expansion packs. They came with like usually like 10 to 15 skins and maybe like little trinkets and memorabilia as well too that you can equip on your soldier, which was pretty awesome. So they are introducing that Call of Duty greedy battle pass system, and that as well is also kind of pissing me off. I don't like that at all. All of the signs so far are indicating that they're trying to basically make a manly version of Call of Duty, if you will, and it might work. It might work. This might be the people's cup of tea for the time being, give them a little break away from Black Ops 6. But, then at the same time, if you give them too much of what they're trying to escape from when Black Ops 7 comes out, they're just going to go run right back to the shit. You know what I mean? It's better to just be original, be battlefield as you always were, and you make these small fixes and don't try to be greedy, and you'll be good to go. So far, I'm rating this about a 6 out of 10. Man, it feels okay. The maps visually looks good, but a lot of it really looks so far like a Call of Duty knockoff, and they need to knock that off. So hopefully, they don't fall into the trap of trying to be like Call of Duty. And I don't know why. You're Battlefield, and Battlefield is better. Stick to the formula, and you got this, man. So we'll see when the game comes out. I want to watch it for a little more before I buy it and review it because I definitely do want to get it. But again, I want to be cautious that I'm not basically getting a Call of Duty clone. So it's good to see you all again. This is Mercenary Assassins Gaming. Stay tuned for more. I got other reviews. We're doing Counter Strike next, and we are up and out of here.